Hi, everyone. I'm 10 Tampa Bay meteorologist James Gregorio with Weather Impact Live, and thank you for joining us here on this Monday. Hope you all had a great holiday weekend and a fantastic start to your Monday. All right, so hurricane season has come to an end, which is certainly good news and something that all of us here in the Tampa Bay area are so thankful for, that we didn't have a landfalling hurricane not only in our area, but there wasn't a landfalling hurricane anywhere in the United States for the first time in 10 years. Now, Chantal was a tropical storm, did make landfall, but no hurricanes made landfall for the first time in about 10 years. We did have 3 Category 5 hurricanes to kind of wrap up the season, but you know, other than that, those were the most noteworthy. And of course, Melissa, with that 252 mile an hour recorded wind on Dropson, was just unbelievable. So again, no landfalling hurricanes this year. We did have 13 named storms. The average is 14. So very average in that regard. Hurricanes, we had 5 from 1991 to 2020. So almost a 30-year average there. The average is about 7. Major hurricanes, now this is where it gets really interesting. We had 4 major hurricanes. 3 of those reached Category 5 status. Now, a major hurricane is defined as Category 3 or higher. So 3 of the 4, or 75% of the major hurricanes we had, reached the highest level on the enhanced Fujita scale that they could reach. So, I'm sorry, on the Saffir-Simpson scale, rather, that they could reach. So, unbelievable that we hit Category 5 3 times, and we had a 252 mile an hour top wind. So, unbelievable stuff here. And again, you notice that last category, 25% of average, 125%. So, something else that's super noteworthy, the season was a little bizarre for other reasons as well. We had this like mid-season break where the tropical activity just kind of dropped off, and then we picked up later in the season again, particularly with Melissa and some of the other storms. So interesting, no doubt. Let's take a look at some of the tracks here, some of those storm tracks, most of which, this is also interesting and somewhat of an anomaly, that most of all these named storms, hurricanes, were in the Atlantic. We had very little Gulf of Mexico activity. So it's not like, yeah, we had 4 storms in the Gulf and they made landfall in Mexico, or they didn't make landfall, or they just, fizzled out. That wasn't really the case either. Most of these, stayed out in the Atlantic and stayed out to sea, which was great news. Chantal, as I referenced and mentioned earlier, did make landfall, was not a hurricane. Chantal was a tropical storm, so that did make landfall as a tropical storm. So again, no landfalling hurricanes. First time that we haven't had a landfalling hurricane in the United States in 10 years. So that is a welcome break, I'm sure, aside from residents and anyone that's been directly impacted by that. I'm sure the insurance industry is kind of happy about that as well. All right, so yeah, things are quiet, which is great news. You see, we've got a band of showers and a couple storms moving through portions of the southeast and over the Gulf Coast. There are a few flare-ups in Central America on the west coast of Costa Rica and Nicaragua, in through kind of Honduras, and on the Caribbean side, maybe Belize. You got some strong thunderstorms trying to fire up there as well. But that tropical update, quiet, and it's been quiet. So we're really happy about that, and that'll continue to be the case going forward here. Now, we do need the rain. So, it would be great to get some rain. We don't necessarily want to get it from a tropical system, but at this point, we're almost going to take it anywhere we can get it. All right, high temperatures. We did hit 80 degrees today. Tampa's sitting at 80, McDill at 80 as well. A couple of the warmer readings. Seminole at about 78 degrees, Clearwater at about 78. The Gulf kind of holding steady at 70 for Gulf water temperatures as well. We expand that view, and here's what's happening. Sarasota at 82, Arcadia at about 81 degrees, and a little further inland, Frostproof doing great at 77, Winter Haven at about 76. Winds for the most part On the lighter side, but they're still there. 5-10 miles an hour. Crystal River, you've got a 10-mile-an-hour wind. Brooksville at about 9. Lakeland at about 12 as well. So, yeah, still some breezes. Generally out of a northeast wind direction. You're probably going to notice the humidity coming up as well before we get some of that rain, that much-needed rain on the way for tomorrow. So that rain would be fantastic if we do get it. I'm trying not to sneeze here, so bear with me for a second. There we go. Thanks for taking that full. So I don't have to sneeze on the air. No, I'm not sneezing anyway. All right, anyway, future cast here as we slide in towards this evening, 9 o'clock. We have that east wind still with us. Fair bit in the way of cloudiness over Tampa, over St. Pete, Bradenton, Sarasota as well. So, yeah, it's been kind of it's been a very cloudy day. It started off pretty nice. I think I had some good-looking sunrise pictures on Twitter, if that's your thing, James G. Weather on Twitter. And, after that, it got pretty cloudy pretty quickly. So my little window of sunrise picture taking opportunity, unfortunately, closed pretty quickly. I feel like by 7:30, those winds were pretty dense and pretty thick across the area. So, and we've kind of hovered there most of the day. So I'd call it mainly cloudy that we've dealt with all day long. As we head in towards tonight, I think the clouds thin out a little bit here, and we start to fare a little bit better heading in towards early tomorrow, but there's more clouds. Notice, as we move in towards 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, there it is, some showers on the way. I think this is more of a, better bet for a thunder shower further north you get into the Nature Coast. So as you head up towards Citrus County, you head up towards Hernando County, Pasco County, you might get a rumble or two of thunder. You might even get a brief scattered, relatively strong storm, but that seems to be the favorable pathway. That's the tail of the front. Now the fronts have been sort of breaking apart as they move southward here in over the Bay Area. So as you get in towards Pasco County, that front kind of breaks apart in towards Hillsborough and Pinellas. It doesn't really hold up very well. And as a result, we've got kind of kiboshed on some of the rain opportunities. Ironically, when the fronts have been more potent, they've held together more. But ironically, further north, the drought is even worse in the Panhandle and up towards Jacksonville. So, those two don't really make sense. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. But the fronts have been a little bit better, a little bit more robust, and it's been a little bit, wetter there, or the opportunities have been a little more numerous a little further northward. So this is 10:30 tomorrow morning. Time now, by the way, 4:37. So thank you for joining us. And, we'll continue to roll with this for another, maybe 20 minutes before we start our 5 p.m. newscast. So as we head in towards 1 o'clock tomorrow, notice we've got more rain heading towards Crystal River and moving up towards, Citrus County, Hernando County. And then by 4 o'clock, the wind, look at the winds behind it. The winds are out of a north and west direction. So the front is through. Gig is up really. So, and that's good news because I think it's essentially a dry commute home. I think the rain is done by 4 and it's not going to be a lot, unfortunately. I wish it was a little more widespread. I wish it was a little more rain. I think we're looking at what will likely be about a 1/4 inch, perhaps a little more as we head up towards, again, Crystal River, Brooksville, areas like that where we could see a little more rain, and I think it'll be a little more robust and certainly a better bet for some of those isolated showers. Now, as we move in towards tomorrow night, 9:30 at night, we've got a few clouds lingering. The front is through. I think we get some cooler and drier air in here, which would be great. The wind is north and west at 9, 71 degrees at 9:30. And then by 2, where it's 67 degrees, going to fall a little more from there as well. So that's kind of the tail end right now of that frontal boundary. But there is some snow on the northern side of this. You know what time it is now. It is time to do a little drawing. And there we go. There's the snow on the northern flank of that. Oh, Chicago, what a few days it's been for you. So if you were trying to fly through O'Hare, I think they've actually fared fairly well considering. I feel like they've had snow in and around the airport for the last 3 days. We have some video. We're going to take a look at that coming up in our next block. We're going to talk about the Chicago snow. We're going to talk about snow and travel weather. Still a busy travel day here. But shout out to TPA. I flew over the holiday and TPA was awesome. Wasn't awesome everywhere. We'll talk about it coming up after this. Stay with us.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Familiarize yourself with where your water shutoff valve is located. If backflow prevention devices are installed, get them tested annually.
Those are some great tips, and Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40-TODAY.
I was driving when a Ford pickup truck barreled into me from behind, sending me to the hospital.
I knew my husband was going to need an excellent attorney, so I called Dan Newland.
I'm so glad my wife called Dan. Dan really fought for me. He won my case and got me $650,000.
If you've been involved in a car accident, allow me to fight for you. Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Thanks, Dan, for winning my husband's case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. You need quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
Welcome back, everyone. 4:42 now, and how'd you like to be driving around St. Louis, Missouri? And you could see that there's blacktop in the left lane, but few of the drivers seem to be utilizing that. They seem to want to drive over the snow on the right lane. So, and then you got this guy in this SUV that's kind of in the middle of the mix there. So, yeah. Oh, winter driving, isn't it fun? Yeah, I don't know why there aren't more people in that line behind that Jeep Scrambler there, that white vehicle, where it looks like it's, better blacktop and, perhaps less slippery. Sometimes the snow is better to drive on than what you think is blacktop, but it's not. It's black ice and even more slippery than driving over the snow. So I presume that might be what those other drivers are thinking. All right, if you're heading home from your holiday weekend today, you might want to check the weather forecast first. You want to check it all the time, of course. Mother Nature could disappoint some travelers who waited out yesterday's traffic and snow. Amy Kiley reports now.
Winter weather continues to hinder travelers coming back from their Thanksgiving destinations. Forecasters say a new storm system is taking shape today in the Mid-South, near where Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas meet. They predict snow in much of the northeastern U.S. this week and heavy rain south of there. This system follows a previous one that snarled travel over the weekend.
Winter weather can always be impactful, but this is definitely one for the books for sure.
Indiana police say 45 vehicles were in this pileup Saturday with no major injuries. Delta says no one was hurt when this plane slid off an Iowa runway yesterday. FlightAware reports roughly 12,000 delays and 1,000 U.S. cancellations yesterday. It says Chicago's O'Hare Airport was the hardest hit.
We were pushed back because it was delayed for a couple of hours. Then we were able to get another flight. That one was delayed like another 30 minutes to an hour.
FlightAware says the busiest airport in the world racked up delays too.
The concern is that the flight would be canceled. If it's delayed, we've got some family here who's on standby to come back and pick us up. So we'll see how it goes.
That's even though it's in Atlanta, which did not get snow.
The aviation system is really interconnected and it can have a domino effect. So you can be outrightly impacted even without being in that area that's seeing weather.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
All right, you're looking at, this is a live look, and a little bit of light left there in Gaylord, Michigan. So making a snowman, and yeah, definitely a good shot of Michigan. So if you saw the Michigan-Ohio State game, some snow, playing with some snow there. So Yeah, 'tis the season for sure. Snowman looks happy. I'm trying to see what that temperature is on the thermometer there. There we go. It's right about, I don't know, 30? You know, it's right in between, it looks like it's right in between 20 and 40. So right just below the freezing mark. Snow's not going anywhere. As we head into the evening hours, you got to think the temperature is going to drop a little bit more. And Snowman is going to be fine for another day. Whew. Yeah. Anyway, all right, let's go back to the maps and we'll take a look at how we're faring. Satellite and radar picture here back. And yeah, that's that system that is still there. So as I kind of circle it for you, Chicagoland in through portions of St. Louis, Cincinnati, sliding off to the east as well. You know, basically we'll move in that direction as we head in towards the next several hours. So speaking of which, travel forecast, you know, as we head in towards tonight, it's not getting much better. So I just showed you that system in Chicago, in St. Louis, all the bluish purple there, that's snow. And that pink line here, we call this the rain-snow line. That is basically the separation between rain and snow. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that just separates it. But no, right in that corridor is probably the worst of it. It's worse than the snow. You get sleet, you get frozen rain, you just get, you know, kind of cruddy weather and very difficult to drive through, more so than just a pure play snow event. And well to the south of that is, of course, just garden variety rain. It'd be great if we got some of that rain in here as we advance here in towards tonight. You're going to notice, I'm going to take the telestrations off, you're going to notice both of those sort of coming together. So there it is. I talked about this yesterday. Both of these systems sort of phase or merge into one. And that's a big swath. That affects everything from Boston to JFK and LaGuardia and Newark and DCA and into, you know, further southward into Atlanta's Hartsfield International, here into Florida. It looks like we're going to get a good shot of rain. I'm not overly optimistic about it, to be honest. I think we have a 50% chance for some rain. I think the better bet, as mentioned, is a little further north of us with the tail end of that system. But you can see for the most part, the greens that are going to affect Florida, for the most part, are on the lighter side. So the heavier rain is really in through Central Virginia, from Richmond, further south or through Raleigh-Durham, through the Tar Heel State, in towards South Carolina, and even into Georgia as well. You make your way towards, North Florida, maybe Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra. You get into the act with some heavier downpours as well. But for the most part, I think the heavy rain sort of misses out for us. North, in our northern counties like Citrus County, maybe not. We'll talk about that. We'll recap our weather as well, coming back in another break. Time now 4:48. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. I hope you stay with us.
I was involved in a very bad car accident. Called attorney Dan Newland, and it was like 1, 2, 3. Dan really got it done for me. At the end of my case, he got me $525,000.
As one of the largest personal injury law firms in the United States, my team and I remain committed more than ever to win big on your case. Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me at 813-888-8000.
Thank you, Dan, for winning my case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
With a fresh new look and over 60 years of keeping Floridians comfortable, Cool Today is the name to trust for fast same-day service. cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Our friendly expert technicians take the hassle out of home repair today. And Cool Today is here for you tomorrow, too. That's why we're introducing a parts and labor warranty on select AC systems for a lifetime. For cooling, plumbing, or electrical service, get the best from today and for years to come. Cool Today.
Welcome back, everyone. The Outer Banks of North Carolina got the brunt of Hurricane Erin. The main road there was covered in sand, water, and debris. There were also high rip current risks along much of the East Coast. One of the homes in the Outer Banks collapsed from the storm. I feel like it was probably more than one, but you're watching some video there of Erin. So the Outer Banks really took a good shellacking from Erin, and it was just the consistency. It wasn't obviously a direct hit, but Erin just spinning close enough offshore, producing the flooding, producing the beach erosion, the scarfing of the beach, flooding here. I think that's Highway 13 in Dare County there. Don't quote me on it, but I think it's 13. Maybe we could look that up, but that would be the road that often gets washed out. So you can see some of those homes on pilings, and those pilings are driven pretty far into the ground. Some of them are not, and then some have washed into the ocean here. Outer Banks of North Carolina, certainly it's a North Carolina DOT. It doesn't say the road. Oh, okay, I think it's 13, but we'll try and get some clarity on that for you as well. All right, so obviously gusty winds and the surf was, super churned up. So lots of storm systems. Umberto, Imelda as well. You could see the debris there for another home there collapsing into the ocean. So, and it's a really sad thing. And then you also have all these onlookers taking a look at it, and if that's your house, it's got to be a tough thing to watch. Your home is, washing into the ocean, and then you have all these spectators around like it's like a circus. So anyway, and you could see, cutting a swath. There goes that one house. So yeah, there were multiple homes that fell in. I feel like that total from this season in that area was probably how many? 9 homes. All right. Okay. My producer telling me 9 homes fell in. So, or was washed away, didn't just fall in. All right. So looking at more video here. So more storm damage in the area as well. This is Melissa. This is Jamaica, I guess. Yep. So this is Jamaica from Melissa, an island that is still recovering from Melissa in the third world. The wheels of motion, the wheels of recovery move even slower than they would in the first world. So there's a lot of work still to be done. Melissa, top winds, 252 miles an hour. Strongest winds ever recorded on Dropson at 252. And given that, even that there are still structures standing is unbelievable. But you could see we've got, sand-covered roads. There is so much work still to be done there in Jamaica. So our hearts go out to them, and hopefully they will get back on their feet sooner than later and be able to rebuild and recover as well. So that would certainly be a step.